Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Let's learn computer science. Hey everyone, I'm back with day 8 video of 21 days Python masterclass, and today's topic is Python strings. We'll be covering what are strings in Python, what are various operations that we can perform on strings in Python, including concatenation, repetition, membership, and slicing. Also, we'll learn how to traverse a string using loops. We'll also understand about some built-in functions which we can use along with strings in Python. Of course, once we understand the concepts, we'll do some examples on Python shell. So let's start our today's session. Let's understand first of all, what are strings? In programming, any programming language, strings are sequence of characters used to represent text data. So when we talk about sequences of characters, it can be alphanumeric, including some special symbols as well. So they can contain letters, digits, symbols, and spaces as well, right? In Python, strings are enclosed in single, double, or triple quotes. We'll understand this with the help of examples. Along with these points, please remember that strings are immutable. Now, what are immutable data types? That we learned in our day 2 video of Python. So you can revisit, however, just for your understanding, strings once created, they can't be changed. So data that you save once after creation of a string, that can't be changed. So immutable. So strings are immutable, right? Now, let's understand this with the help of some examples. Greeting is a variable equals hello everyone. So if you look here, it is kept in double quotes. Hello everyone. It has space, it has a special symbol, exclamation marks, right? And it is kept in a double quote. Next, if you look at name equals CS with SKS is enclosed in single quotes and it has spaces as well. Next is data is equals to learn Python. Now this is enclosed in triple quotes, right? Next is data2 is equals to triple quotes with single quote, 21 days Python masterclass. Now, if you look here, the double quotes and single quotes, these are single line strings. And when we talk about triple quotes, whether using double quotes or single quotes, these can be multi-line strings. So once you start and you keep on pressing enter, 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 and in the end, if you close it with a triple quote, that becomes your multi-line strings, right? So these are some examples of Python strings. Here it is alphanumeric set of characters which are enclosed either in single, double, or triple quotes, right? Now, once you understand what a string is, you need to understand how you can access each and every character of a string. Indexing. What is indexing and how it is used along with strings in Python? Let's understand that. Now in Python, each character of a string, it has an index. Index basically means a place value associated with the character, right? So each character, it has an index. And the characters are indexed from left to right, and the starting index value is 0. So if you have 5 characters in a string, then starting first character has index value 0, then 1, then 2, then 3, then 4. Also, we have negative indices associated with the strings. Now, positive, it starts from 0 going onwards, 1 less than the total length of the string. And negative indexes, they start with the last character being -1 index value, and then going from right end of the string towards the left hand side. So -1, -2, -3, -4, and so on, right? You can see here, if Python, Python is a string, then positive index P is having 0 as an index value, Y having 1 as index value, T 2 index value, H 3 index value, O 4, and N 5. Now these are positive index values starting from left going towards right hand side. Now negative index values for this string starting from -1 for N, -2 for O, -3 for H, -4 for T, -5 for Y, and -6 for P. So these are positive index values and these are negative index values, right? If you try to access an index value outside the valid range, Python will give you an index error. So if that index is not there and you're trying to access something beyond that, so an index error will be generated when you run your code. Now to find out the total number of characters present in a string, we have an inbuilt function len that will return the length of the string or the total number of characters present in that string. So this also will understand on Python shell. So let's go to Python shell. Now let's take a variable, let's say text is equals to Python. Now you need to either enclose it in single quotes or double quotes. So I have enclosed it in single quotes. Now text is having a string in it. Text is a variable having string in it, which is Python. Now if I write text 0, so index value along with the string name kept in square brackets, if I write this, it will give me P. So this is first index starting with 0 for P, right? Now, if I write text 1, it will give me Y, right? These are positive index values. Now, if I write text -1, so it will give me N, negative index, right? Starting from the last character going towards the left-hand side from right. So -1 gives me N. Now, if I write text -2, it will give me O, right? So these are positive and negative indexes in Python strings. Now let's understand various operations that we can perform on Python strings. So we have concatenation, means adding two strings together. And for this, we have this plus sign. Repetition, where we multiply a string with some integer, right? Membership, in and not in. And then we have slicing. We'll understand these operations one by one in the coming slides. First of all, let's understand what is concatenation. So concatenation means combining two strings together using plus operator. So normally we use plus operator, addition operators along with the integers where we add them together. However, when we use this plus sign along with strings, here we use it to combine two strings together, right? How? Let's see. So if you have two strings, hello and world, and you put a plus sign in between, it will give you hello world, right? So if first name, let's say a variable is first name and I have CS in it, and last name I keep with SKS, and I write first name plus with a space where I'm just putting a double quotes with a space in them just to give a space in between. First name plus space plus last name. So it will just add these two strings together. It will combine these two strings together. So CS with SKS will be my output. So that is how concatenation happens. Just combining two strings together. Next, we have repetition. Now, repetition is repeating a string by multiplying it with some numbers, right? So if I write Python multiplied by 3, so Python is a string, multiplication sign, and I write 3 along with it, it will give me Python 3 times, right? So let's see an example. So if I have a variable message is equals to hello, and I write repeated message, another variable I'm taking is equals to variable message multiplied by 3, and I try to print this variable repeated message, it will give me hello, hello, hello 3 times. So string is repeated number of times it is multiplied with some integer value using multiplication operator. So that is how repetition works in Python strings. Next, we have membership, in and not in. So using these operators, we can check if a substring is present in a string. So you're given with a string and you want to check whether something, some part of maybe one character or maybe some group of characters are present in that particular string. So we can use, in that case, we can use in and not in membership operators. So for example, if I want to check on as a substring to be present in Python, so I'll write on in Python. If I type this and I press enter, it will give me true as an output, means yes, on is present in Python. However, if I want to check if a substring is not present in a string, then I will use not in operator. So for example, I want to check am not present in Python. So I'll write am not in Python. So that will also give me true because that's correct. Am is not present in Python. Python is also a string, am is also a string, right? So that is how membership operators can be used in Python strings. Next, we have slicing, and this is a really, really important topic. Okay, so let's understand this. Slicing, basically, it allows you to extract some part of a string. You have a big string, let's say CS with SKS, and you just want to extract some part of it. You don't want to display it as a whole. Rather, you just want to pick width from it and you want to use it somewhere else. So in that case, slicing is used to extract width from CS with SKS, right? Now, syntax is you write whatever string you're using, then square bracket, start, colon, stop, colon, step. Now, what is start, stop, and step? If you remember when we learned about Python loops, there I explained range function in my day 7 video. This is something similar to that, right? So let's just understand start, stop, and step here as well. Start is the starting index value. If you do not include it, default value is 0, and this is inclusive. starting index value, from where you want to start taking your substring. I'll explain this on Python shell as well. So next is stop. Stop is ending index value, till where you want to take a substring. And this is exclusive. You go up to that value, but you do not include that. And this is also optional. If you do not include it, default is end of the string. Next is step size, incrementing or decrementing value. So default, again, it is 1. If you do not include a step value, by default, it will consider it as 1. To understand this, let's go to Python shell. Okay, now we have a text variable equals to Python. We already have taken that value up there. Now I want to print, let's say I want to print th. I don't want to take the whole string. However, I want to take a substring out of this string, which is th. So I'll write text, which is the string variable name, then square bracket starts, then start value. Now, what is the index value for t? It is 0, 1, 2. So my starting value is 2. Then colon. Now, what is the ending value? It is 0, 1, 2, 3. However, I want to include it. So I will go till 4. Because it will go up to 4, but it will not include. So up to 4. Then step value, which is by default 1. If I do not write 1, it will take it as 1 only. But I'm writing here, and then close the square bracket and press enter. So it has extracted a substring th from Python. Right? Now, if I do not write, let's say I start from 3, but I do not include any other values, and I write it like this and close it and press enter. So it will start from 3 and it will go to the last value. So 0, 1, 2, and 3. So starting value is 3, index value is 3. So h, and then because I have not included stop value or step, so it has taken me to the end of the string. Right? Let's take one more example. So I am writing text. I am not including start value. I am not including stop value. And I am changing the step to 2. And then I'm closing the square bracket. Now my substring is PTO. Because by default, it starts with 0. I didn't include start value. So it started with 0. So P extracted. Then step is 2. So it did not include Y. It included T. And then it included, after step 2, it included O. And that's it. Right? One more example using negative indexing. So I'm writing text, then square bracket. I'm not including any start value, any stop value, and my negative index I'm writing here, step -1. So now my step is -1. So by default, it will start with the last character and will go till first character. So it has created the reversed string because it started with the last character, included the first character, and step is -1. So from right to left, it has given me a reverse string. Okay, so that's slicing in Python. Just remember that indexes beyond string length, they are ignored, and slicing doesn't raise an error, and slicing creates a new string. Original string will remain as it is. Whenever you use slicing, it will create a new string based on whatever index values you're putting in the slicing, right? Now, next is traversing a string using loops. Now, what is traversing? Traversing is basically visiting each character. Now, strings can be traversed, means each and every character can be visited using loops, both the loops, whether it's while loop or for loop. You can use any loop and you can traverse the string using any of the loops. So loops can be used on strings to do different tasks, like counting occurrences of a character, that how many times that character is present in the string, or building new strings with modifications, or you can find positions of some specific characters in the string, right? So how we do that? That example is written here using while and using for both. So we use a string in while, and then we start an index value, and we go till the length of the string. So length is a function, inbuilt function, that gives you, we have already learned, that gives you total number of characters present in the string. So length of the string can be used using len function. So while index is less than length of string, you print string index value. So it will give you the individual character which is present on that index. And then you can just change the index value. Index is a character that we are using as a counter in the while loop. Using for loop, you just start, you take the string and you just use membership character for any variable. You can use for char in string. String is Python here, and then print char. Simple. Now let's understand built-in string functions. In Python, there are lot of built-in functions available for string manipulation. For example, you can convert a string into uppercase letters, you can convert it into lowercase letter, or you can just find out the length of the string. You can replace some characters with some other characters in the string. So there are lot many built-in functions in Python. So let's just understand all of these one by one on Python shell. All right, now we have text is equals to Python. We already have taken that variable up here. So first inbuilt function that we can use is len. So if I write len and then I write text, which is a variable having string in it, it will give me length of the string. So how many characters are there? That is length. So python, 6 characters. So 6 is the length of this string. So len, parenthesis, inside the parenthesis, you put the string. You can simply write len. If I write sks, that will also work. So it gives you length of the string, right? Next is string.upper. So whatever string you have, so I have text right now. In text, I have Python. So text.upper, all in small letters, and then parenthesis. I press enter. So it will convert whole string in capital letters, right? However, my original string is as it is not changed, right? However, new string is generated and it is converted to uppercase letters. Also, I have inbuilt function lower to convert everything to lowercase letters. Still, if I type text, it is still as it is, the way I originally typed it. So P capital Y T H O N, all small letters. But this one output is all in lowercase, right? Now next function is capitalize. So let's take one string. Text is equals to, let's say, CS with SKS, and I press enter. Now text dot capitalize, and I press enter. Now what it does, it converts the first character to uppercase, right? Next we have title. Now title converts the first character of each word to uppercase. So text dot title. Press enter. Now it has converted this as well as this, each word. So this also it has converted to uppercase. Next we have strip. So it removes leading and trailing white spaces. In this string, we do not have any leading and trailing white spaces. So I'll just take text is equals to with some leading white spaces. Then I'm writing CS with SKS, and then I'm putting some spaces and closing the single quote and enter. Now if I write text dot strip, press enter, so it has removed all the leading and all the trailing white spaces, right? The next function that we have is replace. So replace function will replace occurrences of the character that you are giving with the new character that you are giving. So let's try text dot replace. So I'm trying to change S with a dollar sign. So I'm writing here S, comma, and bracket close, press enter. Okay, it didn't work. Why? Because here S is capital and here I'm putting a small. So I'll write it again with the capital S. So here I'm putting capital S. Now I'm pressing enter. So now it has replaced S with dollar sign, right? Next built-in function that we have is find. Now it returns the index of the first occurrence of the substring for which we are trying to figure out the index value. So text dot find, and inside it I am writing WI, right? And pressing enter. So now it has given me 7. So it is also counting the white spaces that we have given, right? So 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So 3 white spaces, then 4, 5, and then 6, and then 7. So starting index value is 7 of WI, right? So that is how you find the first occurrence of the substring that you are trying to figure out. Then we have split. Now split function, so it splits the string into a list using a separator value. So right now if we look here, we have separator as a space, right? So whatever separator value you'll give, it will create a string, and all those characters which are separated by that particular value that you are giving, they all will be treated as individual list item, right? So for example, in this, I am writing text dot split, and my separator by default is space. So I'm not writing anything and I'm just pressing enter. Now, because my separator by default is space and I only have a separator here, a space. So what it has done, it has taken CS, this one, CS first list item, with as second list item, and SKS as third list item. So it's split the string into a list using the separator that we use, right? Last but not least, we have starts with, we have ends with. and these built-in functions, they check if the string starts or ends with the prefix which is given. So let's say if I write text dot starts with, if I say it starts with, let's say C, and I press enter, it will say false. Why? Because it is starting with a capital C. So I'm writing it, I'm copying it again, and this time I'm writing a capital C here and then press enter. That is also false. Why? Because it is actually starting with a space here, right? So this time I'm just putting a space here and then I'm pressing enter, and it is giving me true, right? So it gives the result in Boolean true or false depending upon if it starts with that. And similarly, you have ends with to check whether a particular string ends with a particular character or not, right? So these are some built-in string functions in Python. Now let's do some example programs using strings in Python. So first question is, write a program in Python to input a string having some digits and display the sum of digits present in this string. Now, I suggest that you all pause the video and try to write the code for this. Of course, I'm going to give you the solution also in the video, but recommendation is that you try it on your own and then you compare your answers with the solution that I am going to write. Okay. So in this scenario, what we do, we, as they are saying, input a string. So we have to take the input from user. So we'll use input function here. To understand how input function works, you can go and watch my day 4 video where I have explained input and output functions in detail, right? So here I'm using input function. A variable user input is used in which I'm putting the value which is entered by the user. Now, what I'm doing, I'm using loop to go through each character in the string to calculate the sum of digits. Now, a counter variable is taken here, which I have initialized with 0. Now, for loop I have used for char in user input. So, user input is the string, right? So, I'm traversing through each and every character. Now, if character is digits, so this is another function that will check if a particular character inside the string is a digit or not. So, if it is digit, it will return a true as an answer, otherwise false. So if char is digit, then if it is true, it will enter in the if statement and it will convert it into integer. Now, as it is a character, as it is a string, so we have to convert it into int, right? So here type conversion happens, right? So type conversion using int, we are converting into integer, and then we are using a simple totaling method, that total underscore sum is equals to total underscore sum plus digit. Here I'm using augmented operator. I have explained about augmented operators in my day 3 video, operators. So you can revisit your concepts by going through day 3 video, right? So this will display the sum of all the digits which are available in the string, right? You can just simply use a print statement and display the sum of the digits. Next example program is write a program to input a string, any string you can take. I have taken CS with SKS, and replace all the occurrences of letter S in the string with $sign. And this I have already explained you, I guess, so you can easily do it. So here what you do, you take a string because they have already given it. So I'm just assigning it. I'm not taking it from user. And to replace it, what I'm doing, I'm using inbuilt replace function. So I'm taking a variable, modified string is equals to whatever string being entered or being taken, dot replace s with $, and then I'm just simply printing it. I'm printing original string as well as modified string both, right? So that's the second program. Now it is assessment time for my students. So I'm displaying 8 questions for you based on the topics that we have covered today. Pause the video, go through each and every question, read them thoroughly, and try to solve them. And I'll display the answer key in the end. Compare your answers. So start the test. Now this is the answer key. Compare your answers. I hope you got all the right answers. So that's all for today. Thank you. I'll see you in the next video.